Hello there. Today I'll tell you about my Iceland trip. The trip started on Saturday, and I was very nervous because we're going on a plane. But anyways, we went on. We arrived at the airport, got on the air train, waited a while, got on the plane, found our seats, and then the plane took off. The plane ride was kinda boring, but it would have been more boring if it weren't for the cartoons, the food, and playing on Dad's phone. Halfway through the trip, I fell asleep and tried to turn on my side. When I woke up, we were heading through a little bit of turbulence. And when we landed, we were in Iceland. We got to our car and drove to our first place, Vik. We arrived at our hotel and took a nap. The only problem was the light that shined through our doorway. We went to a store called Bonus, and then we went to the beach. The only problem was how windy it was. We took some pictures at some hexagons. Then Dad and Max decided to go on a hike. And they didn't come back until like an hour later. And so we were forced to cling to the rocks as the wind tried to blow us away. After the beach, we went back to our hotel and went to sleep. Only problem was the light that shined through our doorway. In Iceland, summer's always daytime, even when you sleep. But eventually we fell asleep. The next day we went to the Continental Divide. It looked like a small canyon with a trail in the middle. It was very cool standing between two tectonic plates. After that we went to a church and then a graveyard. We also met a cat, which followed us on the way down. After that we went to a waterfall. We got into our raincoats and we went behind the waterfall and took some pictures and explored a little. The waterfall experience was overall amazing. It was very cool standing behind falling water. After that, we went back to our hotel and went to sleep. The next day, we drove to our next place, Hoffen. We arrived at a fancy restaurant, ate some food, and ordered a volcano cake. You see, today is Max's birthday. Today he is 10. And so we celebrated and ate the cake. After that, we went on a hike to a glacier. The site was actually pretty cool. And on the way back, we found a geode inside a rock. After that, we drove back to our hotel and went to sleep. The next day, we decided to go on a tour. We got on a boat and set sail. We drove past icebergs, took pictures of icebergs. We even got to carry this piece of ice they had on board. Up next, we visited an iceberg jam and did a waterfall surrounded by hexagonal pillars. After that, we drove back to our hotel and went to sleep. And the next day, we drove to our last place, Reykjavik. We arrived at our hotel and then went to the beach. We found and returned a lady her phone, and then went to an iceberg jam. And then we drove back to our hotel and went to sleep. The next day we went to this big church. There were many rows of seats and a giant pipe organ on the wall. Someone began to play some nice music on the pipe organ. Up next we went to this museum-like building. And then we went to the Volcano Express. The Volcano Express is a 3D movie that was something like this. And watch out! Boom! After that, we got some hot dogs, and then we went shopping, and then I got some candy, and my brother got a boat, and then we took a walk, and then we went to sleep. The next day was our last day in Iceland. We went back to the Continental Divide, but this time it was sandy and had a bridge. And then we went to a lighthouse. Although we weren't able to go inside, we were able to explore a little, and then we went to this beach with big rocks. Then Max went close to the waves, while I stayed back with Mom. And finally, we went to the airport. We got onto the plane, found our seats, and then the plane took off. The ride from Iceland was the ride to Iceland. I watched cartoons, ate some food, played on Dad's phone. I even went to use the restroom somewhere on the trip. It was kind of cozy in the restroom, so I stayed there for a little while. But eventually I came back, and when we landed, we were back in our home country. We got to our car, drove back home, and went to sleep. Thank you so much for watching my video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. But anyways, goodbye.